Headlines, highlights, the questions burning up the sports world get answered right here. This isn't just another recap, it's the sports answer. And leading the charge, sharp, fearless, and always bringing the edge, your host, Rudy Campos Jr. If you're talking sports, you better have the sports answer.
Welcome back to the Sports Answer. Rudy Campos Jr. here for Salem Surround. All you got to do first is go to YouTube, search Answer Now TV, hit that subscribe button. Why? So you can get the sports answer to all your burning sports questions. Mention Salem Surround. Hey, we've got that QR code right up there. Scan that QR code. If you don't want to scan it, no problem. Call Salem Surround today, 210-526-3635. Hey, man. Salem Surround is your premier digital marketing agency. You've got that brand. You want to get that brand to the next level? Call Salem Surround now. They're going to take care of you from tip to toe. They're going to make sure your brand is getting marketed the best way, the right way, and it's going to bring all eyes on you. That is Salem Surround, 210-526-3635, or simply grab that phone, grab that iPad, scan that QR code, take you right to the website. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, we've got a ton of content to come to you, and it's going to be the sports answer today, but I've got more sports answers to a lot of sports questions that have been asked of me. So we may go into overtime and add more content to the YouTube channel for you as soon as our main show right here is done. What is that content? Can you believe the Oklahoma City Thunder are a one-loss team in the NBA, champions of last season? And guess what? There's a good possibility they could add 2 more top 10 players in next year's NBA draft. That is not fair for the league in itself. But hey, we're going to get into all that here, like I said, on some bonus content. Be sure to go to Answer Now TV, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the bonus content that will be coming up right after this show. Hey, NFL talk, it's heating up. We're at week 11. I mean, the season is flying by, but nothing is hotter right now than college football talk. And right now, today, we saw last night the absolute biggest collapse, I guess, by a team. First time a team has come back down, I believe it was 30-3, 27 points down at halftime was this team. They came back, they rallied to get the victory. This team is probably one of the teams to watch when it comes to college football playoff scenarios. Who are we talking about? Obviously, we're talking about those Texas A&M Fighting Aggies. Now, they are the first team. What is the record? The SEC teams been tallied by 27 points since 2004. A&M's the first team to come back down from 27 points to win. They ended up beating South Carolina 31-30. Mike Elko kept his cool at halftime, talked to his players. He gave them the pep talk they needed. They came out strong. Obviously, Marcel Reed's not going to get the Heisman Trophy, but the way he's played and the way he has led A&M this season, if it's pure heart, he's one of the guys that's got to be up there for Heisman candidacy. But what does this mean for the rest of the league? A&M is for real. This is their battle-tested moment. They do have to go play a Texas team that is pretty much on the way out of the CFP after last night. We'll get into that here. But where do we rank the A&M Aggies? Now, obviously 1 and 2 is Ohio State and Indiana. Both teams very deserving. Very deserving. Ohio State got the win yesterday as well as Indiana, who is number 2. They both looked good. Mendoza has been playing out of his mind. Ohio State clearly is the best team in the country. Mendoza's taking out Indiana to all new heights right now. We're going to see what happens at the Big Ten championship game when it comes down to Ohio State, Indiana, saying those teams do get there. The winner of that game is clearly going to be the number 1 seed when it comes to college football playoffs. But we cannot forget about A&M. If A&M runs the table and wins the SEC. You're looking at a team that is probably number 2 in the country going into the college football playoffs. They can compete, obviously, with Indiana. They can compete with Ohio State. They won't be able to get to number 1. There's no way, because Ohio State right now, unless Ohio State or Indiana lose in the next week or so, they're not going to be able to get to number 1. But I will say this going into the college football playoffs, and we've got a college football playoff preview from a gentleman we saw on X account. He was able to submit one, and we loved it here. We're going to get into that. But if there's ever an A&M team that can run the table, it is this team right here. Will we call them the best team in Texas? Clearly, they're the best team in Texas. Sorry, Longhorn fans. We're going to call it like it is. As it is, Texas Tech is probably the second best team in Texas. Hot take? Not really. Texas Tech has looked really good. Texas is not. I mean, you could even maybe throw North Texas. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're 8-1 or 9-1 right now. That's a team that is talked about getting into the bubble at number 12. Very hard to do with South Florida losing. Now you've got James Madison, the Dukies over at James Madison, making that case to being that 12th team. But A&M is that team to watch. They could really run the table. Mike Elko has his team playing tremendous football. Tremendous football. They are able to score at every level of the game. Their defense, obviously, you had a whole second half where you held South Carolina, who in Lenore Sellers was getting what they wanted in that first half. They were getting to their spots. They were making plays. That defense gave up 30, held them to 30. The offense kicked it up in another notch. Brilliant win by Texas A&M. Can they run the table? That's going to be some bonus content for you guys. Powered by Salem Surround. Again, be sure to go to that QR code up there. Scan it. Check it out. You want to be one of the top teams, top brands, top whatever in San Antonio. There's only one call to make. That number is 521-526-3635. That is Salem Surround, powering us here at the Sports Answer. We mentioned, let's not forget, we mentioned Texas. What's going on with the Longhorns? Georgia Bulldogs. It was close for a while there. I mean, there were times you thought maybe Texas had the opportunity here. Sark was getting it right a little bit. No. Then the Bulldogs just did what they did best. They came in and they dominated. That fourth quarter, boom, done. Georgia pretty much has eliminated. I don't even say pretty much. Georgia eliminated Texas from any CFP talk in the top 12. The Longhorns are done. What does that mean? People are bagging on Arch Manning. Arch has not had a really good season. Compared to other quarterbacks in the SEC, I mean, he's there. He's got the stats. But this Texas team has really faltered this year. They've stumbled big time. Big time. Now we can say Georgia has had Sark's. Kirby Smart has had Sark's number. Georgia has had Texas's number. I will gladly say yes on that. But does this turn everything around for Texas? I'm throwing some sports questions out there for all you Sports Answer fans. Arch isn't ready for the NFL. He's going to go another year in college. Say Sark leaves. And the rumor has it Sark has put out feelers out there for potentially NFL OC jobs or NFL jobs in particular. The rumor has it he has put feelers out there. So say in a sports answer different world, a multiverse, Sark leaves. Does Arch Manning leave? Does he transfer out? Does this Texas team, a once heralded Texas team at the beginning of the season, does it go into a full rebuild? You've got James Franklin, former Penn State coach, already talking to Virginia Tech, I believe. Obviously, you've got Penn State's job available still. That's going to be available. Right now, USC is kind of border. We've heard Lane Kiffin being mentioned to possibly the Florida job. So Ole Miss becomes available. Will Lane leave? I don't think so. I think he likes what he has at Old Mississippi. But it is Florida. They can't throw a ton of cash to Lane Kiffin. So what does this do for Texas? If Sark leaves, does Arch transfer? Does Texas go pretty much full rebuild? Your recruits coming in, you've got to hit that transfer portal. This Texas team this year, I think is good. They're just not living up to their potential. Who's to blame? Personally, I think it's the coaching staff. You've got to look at the staff. An all-world defensive team on the defensive side of the ball. The offense is just not there. And you know what, Texas fans, you're going to come at me. It's the offensive line. The offensive line, the offensive line. I truly, truly get that. I understand the offensive line. But at what point a brilliant mind like Steve Sarkeesian understands the offensive line is struggling? We've got to move the offense this way. We've got to do this. Then it goes to, is Arch really that guy? Again, there's so many more questions in Texas than there are answers. When you have a situation like that, whether it be the pros, whether it be even in college now, because with college you pay the players NIL money, you've got, transfers and this and that. When you have more questions than you have answers and solutions, the sports answer says this: it's time to rebuild. It's time to move on. Longhorn fans, it's time to move on from Sarkeesian. It's time to see, okay, we've seen Arch Manning. If he decides to stay and not transfer out, can our next coach come in and make Arch? Keep in mind, Arch in high school didn't play, apparently, and I didn't follow a lot of his high school, but I did follow a little bit. It wasn't like the highest level of competition. Doesn't mean anything. To me, it doesn't mean anything. You can play against the lower level competition, and hey, that's just where you went to school. I mean, no big deal. But where does this fall on, Texas fans? Does it fall on Sark and the coaching staff? Does it fall on Arch? You guys let me. Where do you think it falls? Do you think it falls on Arch or the coach staff? Rudy's sports answer on that: rebuild, bye-bye coaching staff. Let's start over. You've got money, you've got Texas. Before we go to our first commercial break here, again, shout out to Salem Surround. You got the QR code. Scan that QR code. Call 210-526-3635. Contact them today. You need the rebuild, the rebrand, it's Salem Surround. They're going to help you 100% of the time, every time. They're going to give you their hard work, their heart, their dedication, everything. Call Salem Surround today. 210-526-3635. Scan that QR code or www.salemsurround.com/San Antonio to get started today. As we mentioned, CFP playoff predictions here. Scanned X and saw a guy. I loved it when I saw it. Now, don't take the picture as Texas Tech winning the title. This is just a prediction. What we're looking at are the teams that made the CFP that are predicted to make. As for mentioned, Ohio State, Indiana. You see Ohio State at 1. Indiana goes to 3, where A&M goes to 2. Remember, they'll win the SEC, barring anything. That'll put them at 2 because Ohio State and Indiana have to play each other. Texas Tech. Remember, we mentioned earlier, the second best team in Texas is Texas Tech. They will get that 4 seed. They will get that 4 seed for winning the Big 12. There's no doubt about it. Then you've got the rest of the class. Notre Dame at 5. Georgia coming in at 6. Alabama at 7, even though they got that loss to OU. He has Alabama going in still at 7. I think that's the only team that might fall out. Barring anything, that could be the only team that falls out. I think OU could maybe, they put a really big damper on everything. But we'll keep that in mind. For this sakes, we're going to keep Alabama there. You got 8 Utah, you got 9 SC, you've got 10 is coming in at Georgia Tech, who should win the ACC. They really should. 11 Ole Miss, as we talked about, Lane Kiffin. And then number 12, James Madison. We mentioned him earlier. James Madison, because of South Florida's loss, James Madison should be that last team in. They've got a Washington State team. Again, they've got to play Washington State coming up. Get through them, get through the last game. They should be able to run the table and get into the CFP. So these teams right here, again, this is not our prediction for a national championship. These are the teams that we are looking at right now, getting into the CFP. In what order, we don't really know yet, obviously. But we do know for a fact that as of right now, it's going to be Ohio State, Indiana, and Texas A&M as the top 3 teams going into the CFP as of right now. Anything could change. Anything could happen. Anyone can get beat on any given day. So if we were to get teams like this, the matchups would be unreal. Unreal. That Indiana-Georgia matchup, say it was to happen, I've said on many shows, Indiana is, in my opinion, could be the best team in the Big Ten. We're going to find out when they play Ohio State. Again, if they make it to the Big Ten championship, that's when we're going to find out. I feel they are just slightly better than Ohio State. Curt Cignetti for Indiana has Mendoza playing Heisman football. I mean, you're talking about Mendoza being talked about as the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Great kid, great head on his shoulder, great passing. I mean, he's going to be a player at the next level. So that is why I think Indiana has an edge over Ohio State. Now, Ohio State's bigger. They're better, obviously. They've got the talent. But I think with Curt Cignetti at the helms, Mendoza leading them, I've got them as the best Big Ten team. We'll find that at the Big Ten championship when they play against Ohio State. So these are the predictions so far, not our predictions. Again, we are looking at a fan of the show who did drop some of the predictions that he felt were in his best mind and his best guess. These were the teams that we were going to be seeing in the top 12 when we get to the CFP. So, as we mentioned, man, that's a lot of CFP stuff, a lot of college football talk, a lot of stuff that could happen. Longhorn fans, it's kind of in the mix now. We're trying to figure out what's going on with the Texas Longhorns. I think it's rebuild. It's clearly got to be the rebuild. Get ready. Are you going to be the best team or one of the best teams next season? You clearly can. You can hit that transfer portal. you can go and get the players you need. You need to build the offensive line. Go get the offensive line built. You are capable of doing that. Will Sark be there? Will Arch be there? It's been a very tough season for the Longhorns. Aggie fans, you are living it up right now. I think the final blow into Texas this season is getting blown out by the Texas A&M Aggies. When we get back, we're going to have our Spurs Cheeseman segment as the Spurs drop back-to-back games to Steph Curry. Averaging what did he average for those two games? We'll get back here in just a little bit here from our first commercial break, powered by Salem Surround, 210-526-3635. It is the Sports Answer with Rudy Campos Jr.
In San Antonio, your business deserves more than noise. It deserves to be seen. SEO, social media, digital ads. If you're not showing up, you're losing customers. At Salem Surround San Antonio, we design digital strategies that work, from web design and SEO to social, podcast, and display ads. Real tools. Real results. Let's amplify your brand. Start today with a free digital presence evaluation. Salem Surround San Antonio, your brand, everywhere it matters.
210-526-3635. As you saw, Salem Surround, your brand matters. Your brand matters too. Salem Surround, we got the QR code right up there. Be sure to scan that QR code. Go to the website, man. It's the premier digital marketing agency in San Antonio. Digital audio, email marketing. You need SEO, social marketing. You need online reputation management. Salem Surround has you. 210-526-3635. Powering us here at the Sports Answer. Do y'all like Cheese Man? I like Cheese Man.
So, like, I hear about the Spurs, this y Spurs that, y como que esto y esta, pero I never hear about the real Spurs Cheeseman. Name it, por favor.
All right, the Cheeseman is in, and as we mentioned, the Spurs dropped back-to-back games against the Warriors. Emory Cup was one of them. It was past Friday, so they are 1-1 in the Emory Cup right now for that whole tournament thing that I don't even like. I don't like that whole NBA Cup tournament thing. But Steph goes for 49 points in that Friday win over the San Antonio Spurs in a 108-109 win. He previously went, I believe, for 40, what was that, 46, if I'm not mistaken, the night before. He's basically averaging like 46 points a game in those two games against the San Antonio Spurs. Now, the Spurs did end up dropping to 8-4 on the season. So, you know, they started off hot. And the thing that you've got to remember is the Spurs' first 20 games of the year was a very easy schedule, a light schedule against teams that maybe made the play-in, didn't make the play-in or playoffs. So to see them coming out this way was kind of expected if you really studied the schedule. They're going to have some early success in the season. I talked to Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs, friend of the show here at the Sports Answer, and we asked, are they able to compete with those battle-tested teams? You look at the Warriors, their losses are what? The Warriors, their losses against the Lakers. Now, the Suns are a little bit different. That was, to me, that was a very winnable game. They should have won that game against the Suns. But the Lakers, they should have probably won that game. Obviously, we saw what happened at the end of that game. But against the Warriors, a team with Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Draymond, Al Horford. I mean, these guys have all had finals experiences. They've all, they've got titles amongst them. They've got the experience, the battle scars that you would want to see in an NBA team that is going to be successful. It's early in the season. We're not going to overreact to that. But that question is, are the Spurs ready for teams that have been battle tested? That is the biggest thing. Spurs fans blaming De'Aaron Fox. There's no blame anywhere. There's none. We can't blame players, anything like that. just because of a loss. No team's going to go 82-0. This team is sitting at 8-4, fourth, I believe, in the West. I had them as a 6th seed at the end of the season. They're right where they need to be. They're going to get better. I wouldn't really overreact to this. There was Steph being Steph. There's a reason why he's a future Hall of Famer and definitely one of the greatest players of the game. You see why. Tough week for the Spurs. They're going to bounce back. There's no doubt. All right, so as we get the technical issues fixed here, so apologize for that. Again, before we go into our NFL Week 11 picks, it is the Sports Answer. It's Rudy Campos Jr. We're going to be bringing you some bonus content. We got some exciting NBA stuff. Well, not even exciting, but we've got some interesting NBA talk that we're going to be doing here for some bonus content. All you have to do is go to YouTube, search Answer Now TV. We're going to provide some bonus content there. That's the only way for you to get the bonus content is by going to YouTube, Answer Now TV, hit that subscribe button, check out the Sports Answer. You can check out this show, previous shows, and also all this extra bonus content that we're going to be coming to you with. As you ask the sports questions, we're going to give you the sports answers, and now we're going to give you the answers to NFL Week 11. As we saw, the Patriots are just dominating right now the NFL. They dominated the Jets this past Thursday. Drake May making a case for MVP of the league. Now, Coach Gio, friend of the show at Sports Answer, says, hey, guys, wait a minute. Matthew Stafford is the MVP. Looking at the stats, looking at the success, yeah. Remember, guys, I had the Rams winning the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season. I'm not changing it. I will never change it. I've got the Rams as your Super Bowl champions. But Drake May's making a case, man. If you look at it, I'm going to show it out to Coach Gio out there. If you guys are looking at it, Drake May is definitely doing more and succeeding with less than what Stafford has. Drake May doesn't have Puka Nacua, doesn't have Kyron Williams in the backfield, doesn't have Devontae Adams. Drake May doesn't have that. That's why I put him above Matthew Stafford in the MVP talks here. Let's get into our NFL picks here. Dolphins and Commanders. That game's already going on. For the record, I would have taken the Commanders, just FYI. But move on to Panthers and Falcons. Falcons are in a dilemma here. I feel like they're going to be making a coaching change at the end of the season. This team is just not looking good at all. Panthers seem to be playing the Falcons very, very well. Give me the Panthers, the road team on this one. I'm taking the Panthers over the Falcons. Being a Falcon fan, that kills me. But I'm going to take the Panthers in this. Buccaneers and Bills. Baker versus Josh Allen. I really like the Bills in this one. Give me Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Chargers and Jacksonville. Loving Justin Herbert. I think he's going to play a really good game today. I think the claim's going to be closer than expected to a lot of people. Give me the Chargers over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bears and Vikings. Am I really going to take the Bears in this one? They've been looking pretty good lately. I don't really truly trust J.J. McCarthy a whole lot. You know what? I'm going to take the Bears over the Vikings this week. Packers and Giants. Jameis Winston gets the start for the Giants, but nonetheless, I'm going to take the Packers in this one. Steelers and Bengals. Give me the Steelers. Bengals are looking good now, but Steelers are going to get the win in this. Texans and Titans. Give me the Texans. Niners and Cardinals. I'm going to take the 49ers. I'm going to skip this game. We're going to come back to it. Baltimore and Browns. Give me Baltimore in that one. Kansas City, Denver. Give me Denver over Kansas City. The Lions against the Eagles in Sunday Night Football. I'm going to take the Eagles in that one at home. Cowboys and Raiders. Raiders are horrible. Give me the Cowboys in that. Going back to Seahawks and Rams. Two best teams, in my opinion, in the NFC right now. I am going to take the Rams at home against the Seahawks. Sam Darnold is putting his name in the MVP conversation right along with Matthew Stafford. This is a potential NFC title game. The winner of this at the end of the year could go to the Super Bowl in that title game. This is a potential NFC title game matchup. Seahawks, Rams. Give me the Rams this week. Oh, it's going to be a great week of NFL football. You guys out there, enjoy your week of NFL football. And again, we're going to be providing some more bonus content for you here at the Sports Answer. We will see you guys next week. Hopefully, Derek Irvin will be back with me this week alongside here next to me. here on the Sports Answer, powered by Salem Surround, 210-526-3635. That is Salem Surround, QR code up there, www.salemsurround.com/San Antonio for your marketing needs. So it's Rudy Campos Jr. for everybody here at the Sports Answer. Appreciate you guys supporting us through all this, through 100% of the time. We love you guys out there. We will see you next week.
You've been listening to the Sports Answer with Rudy Campos Jr. Today's show was brought to you by Salem Surround San Antonio, helping local businesses grow with digital strategies that work. Visit salemsurround.com/San Antonio to learn more. We'll see you next time on the Sports Answer.